It's not beer pong. It's not cornhole. It's Pop Darts. And it's taken over the sports world one suction cup at a time. From ESPN's Top 10 to your living room table, this is What's Poppin', the most satisfying sports podcast in the world, with Mr. T and the commish. The game, the players, the wild moments you can't script, and the laughter that comes with it. Two guys, one league, zero filter. Let's go.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Welcome back to What's Poppin', the podcast about Pop Darts with Mr. T and the commish. You got us here. First episode of the year. Hope everybody had a great New Year. We're doing a little different episode today. We're going to dig into the mailbag. We've had it pretty busy. It's pretty filled up, and we're going to go through there, go through some questions, get you some answers, and have a great time while we're doing it. How you doing, commish?
I'm doing fantastic. And, yeah, I mean, shout out to our fans, because if we didn't do an episode to this mailbag, it's filling up.
It's overflowing.
So we were doing 1-2 an episode, and just these things started flying in our inbox, and it just made sense.
We got some good ones in here.
Oh boy. You guys want to get Mr. T and I in trouble is what it looks like based on some of these questions that have come in. So we're going to do our best to answer them, but also probably not going to be as controversial as some of these guys wanted when they wrote them in.
Might be biting our tongues a bit.
There's a few of them in here that had me thinking. So how did the new year go for you?
It was fantastic. We had a great time. It was kind of chill. We didn't have a whole lot going on, so that was actually pretty nice. Unfortunately, Mama Z was sick for a good part of the holidays, but she's over it now. She's feeling a lot better. Had some issues, but all good now. How about you?
Yeah, it was great. We had a fantastic time. We hung out with some friends. We did went to like a pool, so an indoor. We did
nice.
A hotel where the kids could swim, and it had a great time.
That's awesome.
I know you and I were talking just before the episode, but yeah, man, that swap top board, God, we were having fun. It's
a blast.
The different games and the football and the golf, and so just a bunch of players never played before.
Yeah.
Or just having a blast. It's a really cool board. Me
and Colton set up the dart board on an easel and played it like darts. It was a lot of fun.
I like that. That's a cool. I don't know what you're gonna call it, modification or cool.
I was trying to figure out a way to just put a couple hooks on the wall and let it hang, but the way it's built, it doesn't really hang very well.
I got to show you how I hang my mirrors in my workout room, because that would be a really cool way to hang the swap top.
That'd be nice, because the easel's not super strong. It's a little flimsy.
No, this setup is pretty cool. I mean, it's a little bit more work, but you can handle the woodwork side of hanging.
I think I can handle that.
Yeah, it's a cool way to do it, and I love it. So I know I mentioned that I was going to wait for your actual reaction, because I told you that. And yeah, I'm being a little dramatic here, but there's a little bit of a crisis going on in my world right now. So here it is. Rockstar, my orange recovery is in short supply right now.
Uh-oh.
Yes. And Amazon has changed it from my standard delivery, which used to pop up every, 2 weeks, to...
You had a subscription set up
on... Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
It used to just show up at my door, 2 cases every, so often. And they canceled my subscription.
Oh, no.
You have to order it. It can take 3 to 4 weeks plus.
Whoa.
It's no longer like a stock thing. And then I go to find out that it's like nowhere else. We have now been going all over to all the grocery stores, Walmarts, everything, and clearing the shelves of my...
Well, keep an eye out. Right, but sorry to tell you guys, this may be the last podcast. If I can't get the Rockstar into the commish, it might not happen anymore.
I know I live a blessed life because it has definitely thrown a kink in my world. And I did reach out to Rockstar directly to make sure that everything was okay and to see if I could offer any support. But I have not heard back quite yet. So it sounds to me like it's just a temporary shortage, but we're hoping we found a couple more stocked areas and a couple more places we can get it. So we should be good for a little bit, but yeah.
Have you had the monster rehabs?
I have not.
Those are kind of, I think those are kind of a similar thing to the Rockstars that you drink.
I would say the things that I like are, I don't like the carbonation. That doesn't sit with me in the morning. It kind of feels more soda-y than than not. And then this one I like because it was like had kind of a juice, more of like a
that's how the monster rehabs are. They're kind of a juice drink.
Yeah. Then I mean I'm not if I'm forced to
don't make him switch, Rockstar.
No, like I love them. Everybody knows that. So yeah, that was my crisis that I discovered, and I spent way too much time online and researching and trying to figure out where I get it. But
I hope everything works out for you.
I think it will. I think they're going to get it. I think they're going to get it dialed in and figured out. So speaking of New Year, you just set any New Year's resolutions?
Oh man, I mean, there's the gimmies all the time. Stop eating junk food, go to the gym a little better. It all comes with time. Try to make things happen. There's just the standard basic resolutions. Nothing that really stands out. It's they seem to be tough to stick to when you set a goal. Sometimes, like that New Year's resolution, I always have trouble sticking to it. So I just kind of keep it in the back of my mind and let it roll from there. It usually works out in the end.
Yeah, and I think that you hit it on the head. I mean, New Year's is a great chance to restart, but it's an indeterminate time. You can start a resolution anytime. You can start one in March. You can start, you can start making habits, anytime and try to improve, what you're doing. For me, the New Year's is a nice start. It's a nice reset for, you get those 2 weeks off, you get the holidays. Oh, my kids are back in school. I know there's a lot of parents out there that know exactly what I'm saying. I love them to death, but holy cow, working and having them, my 5 and 7-year-old are not low energy. They're very crazy. They like to have a good time, but having them back in school has allowed a little bit of a reset in my life. And from my resolutions are not, I don't think anything that's super crazy. I think, from I'd say I kind of set a professional and a personal, and that's how I've always, done it. And professionally, I just want to, I kind of want to be a little, I don't want to say less of a pushover. I don't find myself to be a pushover. Actually, the guys that work with me would probably say I'm the exact opposite, but I want to really, work diligently, work with a purpose. So I think that sometimes I get distracted. It's my personality. So work with a purpose this year. And, on a personal basis, just be there. I think that's one where, sometimes we, especially when you have young kids, you get in the groove, and you're sometimes you're there, but you're not there,
exactly.
And that for me, that's kind of my goal, is to just really
be more present
and listen when they're talking. I mean, it's 5-year-old, what he's, his biggest concerns and his biggest things are maybe not something, like he's mad that his Legos didn't line up, or he's mad that, the dog went in and knocked one of his Lego, things over. To him though, it's important. So
it is
being, listening to him and, and my daughter, and making sure that they, know that I'm listening, that I'm actively, part of that. So that's something that I want to work on. So those are the two things. And like you said, every day though, it's not necessarily a, beginning of the year thing. It's something that I'll just always keep in the back of my mind, so that I'm constantly working at, improving.
Right. Constantly improving.
Yeah. So, well, you want to jump into these?
Let's go. I'll start it off, because this one, I think you get more of these than I would. So, what do fans complain about the most? And are they wrong?
They're not wrong. That I'll start off by saying they're not wrong. With the new sport, my number one complaint's got to be that there's nobody to play with locally. There's nobody that they want to play, and that there's nobody to play with locally. And that is
kind of sounds like one of your 5-year-old's problems. Nobody wants to play with me.
Yeah. And it is, it's one of those where, they're not wrong. It is hard when you're growing a brand new sport. And
sure.
I think, we're big into watching these shows right now. We watched 1833 or 1883 and 1923, those kind of Yellowstone things. And
right.
I'll kind of draw the parallel. Like a lot of these players, even the ones right now today that are part of the hundreds, not part of the tens, they're part of the hundreds now, are still pioneers of the sport. They're still brand new. It still is very new. So because of that, it comes with a tough, it's not a household name yet. It's not a household sport.
Right.
You're still seeing people that are like, what are you doing? What's going on? So my heart is out to those guys. They're not wrong. That is, probably the biggest complaint that I see is, there's nobody here to play. There's
sure.
nobody here to play against. So it's a legitimate complaint. I don't think there's a one solution. I don't think there's, a magic pill or a magic thing anybody can do to change that. It's just time, time and putting in, the effort to grow the sport. And I would say to all those fans that you are not wrong in that the Pop Darts community and leadership and everybody hears you. That's why I exist. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So they are making a ton of active efforts to really explode the sport. And I think, sit tight. I think in a year or two, I don't recognize the sport from 2 months ago, more or less,
right.
what it's going to look like in 2 years. So it's
Absolutely.
really, going a long way. So this one was great. And when this mailbag question came in, he forced me to promise that I would ask this because he said he's curious. He knows where he aims. The question is, where do you aim, or where do you look when you're tossing your dart? What are you aiming at?
So going back to strategy a little bit, my first dart is trying to go right in front of the target. I'm trying for position A on my first dart. So that's pretty much right where I'm aiming. Now, when I'm going for a T-knobber, I'm aiming, my target is right behind the target because the target's elevated. It's only 3.5 inches or so, but it's elevated. So, just makes sense to aim just a little past it to land on top of it. So that's my spot. That's where I'm looking, is just past the target.
And that's an interesting take that you've got too. But it sounds, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase. It sounds like you aim more or less right at where you're looking to throw.
I do.
And I'm a little bit different. When I was growing up, my dad always said, I got nervous driving when I was really young. And my dad would always say, look past where you're going.
Sure.
Because then you have your full vision and your peripherals all kind of zoning you in.
Sure.
And so for me, that's kind of what I do with darts. Like if I'm going to aim at a location, I'm kind of aiming like, or my eyes are 2-3 inches deep of where I'm
sure.
going. And that's how I've always aimed. And that's where I've aimed at. I'd be curious where, some people in the comments, I know, I have a pitcher that, my pitcher for my softball team, he always talks about, he aims for a spot. Mm-hmm. So he picks a spot in the, on the ceiling or in the air. The person who asked this question said that they kind of pick a spot in the air and they kind of throw their dart at that.
Sure. I was gonna get there too. I will aim a little different if we're doing a trick shot video and we're throwing the exact same dart every time trying to hit a certain target. Sometimes I will kind of aim for a spot in the air, to where kind of where my peak of my dart needs to be, because I know that trajectory is landing me almost right where I need to be. So I'll kind of aim to that spot if I'm doing a repetitive. But if I'm playing a game, it's a little different.
That's interesting because when I was talking to him, I got confused because I thought he was aiming kind of like my pitcher does. He picks a spot and that's what he aims for. I didn't think about it so much as like, it really does help you get the right arc that you need. So if you're hitting kind of that particular height, it gets you dialed into where you need to be height wise.
Right, because you can
That's a
pretty well
perspective.
lock in your throw speed consistently, and as long as you start aiming towards that spot in the sky, whether I would aim towards the crest of my arc, the peak of the arc is kind of where I would focus.
I didn't realize everybody was so different. I didn't realize
Yeah,
there was people, going in different locations, and
I never really thought
that's
about it too much until you asked the
no,
question.
that it was a great question, and now I've even talking about it, I've got a different perspective than even when he asked me the question. Him and I were discussing it. So that was a great question, and yeah, I think I'd be interested to see what the Pop Darts community says. Like, where are they going? Are these
Yeah.
guys going right at their target? And does that change for? We call them the snipers, but the guys that throw nice and low.
Oh yeah,
they throw. Do those guys aim directly?
the guys that learned how to play in a basement.
You know who those guys are.
I do. I do.
The guy, you know the guy that comes out to the
I know
Pop-Darts,
exactly who you're talking about.
league, and you're like,
he is a sniper.
8 feet, and they're like, yeah, that's how I learned.
Yep.
That's fine. I know you. I can tell you did.
Right.
So, because you come out and ignore the fact that we have 15 feet to shoot for.
Right.
You're going to only use the 8.
At the regional, I think we had 40-foot ceilings, at least.
Oh, yeah. Those were huge, and
yeah,
a couple of the venues we've been at have all been.
Yeah, it's wild how that changes your perspective of throwing, because as everybody knows, Colton and I are so used to throwing in our living room. That's where we play 95% of our games, and just being able to look up and have no limit it's different. It makes you feel small.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about it, but like, I played basketball in high school. I was not good. I was mediocre back then, and I still struggled even more when you'd go to the gyms where there wouldn't be the wall behind the bucket, where it would be open, and there would be
or bleachers behind their
court, or another court.
Right,
it was that far open.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was about shooting a basketball, but that
well, it's the same. It's the same as a dart. It makes the hoop or the target look like it's 10-15 feet further away than it actually is.
I missed a lot of shots at every gym that I played in, but that court used to get messing me.
So I also played basketball in grade school. Again, not that great, but I remember this one school that we played at where the ceiling, the hoop was like right here, and the ceiling was like this. So you almost had to throw sniper shots to get a 3-pointer, because otherwise you'd bounce it right off the ceiling.
We're aging ourselves, because those gyms don't exist
They
anymore.
don't exist at all.
They existed in my childhood too, like where they just barely got the hoop in there.
Right.
And that was
the gym. The gym was an afterthought.
Yes, it was. Those were great. I remember that. That takes me back. Like I can almost like smell that.
I know you can smell the popcorn on the floor.
So, I like that one. So, okay, here we go. Oh, this one's great. Like I said, they're trying to get you in trouble here.
Yeah, let me give you this one. So, What's a Pop Darts hot take that would get you flamed in the comments?
I'm gonna give a hot take. I won't hold back. It's a new year, right? We'll see what kind of trouble we can get in. Here's my hot take. I think that there is more excuses out there than there are action. And what I mean by that is I'm noticing that the success of the sport is exploding. So my kind of hot take is, if it's not exploding, or if you're not loving what's happening there, that you can do something about it. That's my hot take. Is I'm not going to say it's your fault. That's not true. That's a little bit mean, but I would say you can absolutely do something about it. So that is my first part of my hot take. And my second one is, while I love the internet, there are a lot of people that know I'm not, huge fan. Probably 5-6 years ago now I do everything online, and I'm on social media. I'm on all that. A couple of years ago, I'd have gladly gotten rid of my Facebook and stuff and not even been on there. But I would also, the biggest hot take is, nobody's growing this sport online. Nobody is growing this sport in a functional capacity online. It's a great assist to helping us. It's a great assist to what we're doing. But I see a lot of people that are, I'm in XYZ city, county, state. Does anybody want to play? I think that's got a 0% success rate.
Yeah.
Is my general take on that. I'm not saying don't do it, but a good organizer, a good social person that's out and about and growing the sport will grow the sport by about 10 times what any one of those posts, maybe 100 times any one of those posts. So
Sure.
that's my, sorry if I'm picking on somebody or groups of people, but my hot take is you got to be out there. You got to be out there talking to people, playing with people. It is working. Being out there and being in, these venues and these places is working really, really well. So,
Yeah, all you got to do to get a league started up is go find a local regular dart league or a pool league or a cornhole league and piggyback onto them to get it started, because the people there will play this game. I guarantee it. And you just got to get a dart in their hand.
I say, and people ask me, like, why are some of the best players like that good? How are they that good? What is caught? And the answer, honestly, all the time is they're playing the best players. And because this game is built so much on consistency and developing a consistent approach, it's not a shocker that, you and Colton are good. You don't, I guess I would ask you, like, what's the purpose of even playing Colton if you're not going to pay attention? You don't get a game off.
Right.
Why play? He's not going to give you a free game.
No, he's not.
It's not going to happen. So, and you're not, and vice versa. So when you see that kind of stuff, you mentally have to prepare and to be better. And I think that's where these players that want to play, just pick a buddy and go play, and just don't take a game off. Don't take, we had a league last night, and I told my buddy, I'm like, dude, you're a really good player who takes a lot of mental breaks. Like you disappear for 3-6 darts sometimes, and it costs you. And he kind of was like, yeah, you're right. And a lot of it is there's different skill levels and there's different players. So when you're playing people that don't have that skill level, or you can take a break, you do. Versus I watch guys like you and when again, Cathead Kid, those guys down there, they don't get a break when they're playing each other. If you take a break, you're gonna get smoked.
Oh, so, yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a testament to, you don't need to get good at this game. You don't need 25 people. You don't need 30, 40 people. Find a couple and then just go play. And I tell people, even if it's just you and a buddy, go play in public. Go find that bar that, or that place that lets you do it, and then talk the game with everybody. Anybody that comes and talks to you. We had 2 new people yesterday come up and learn how to throw a dart.
Nice.
They've never even heard of the game, and they were like, "Oh, maybe we'll come back next week," or maybe, and that's all you can do. Yeah. So it's a hot take, but I think it's one that is true. At least in my world, and what I'm seeing is get out there. You guys can grow the sport. There's no excuse. If you don't like talking to people, find one person that does. Find, go find somebody in your community that does have that personality. And
everybody knows that guy.
Well, and support them. So it's always nice when you find that person that wants to talk and grow and build and do, and he's got people coming with him. If you're already coming to play every week and helping him set up and helping him do that, that's a great way to, to build the community.
For sure.
Okay.
This next one I think is a little more geared towards you also. So, do you think some leagues inflate numbers to look bigger than they are?
I don't think they inflate numbers. This is a question I get. I don't think leagues are out there inflating numbers. I don't think you can. It's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, there's going to be one national champ. At the end of the day, there's going to be, right now there's 2 regional champs. Like, at the end of the day, these guys we can hem-haw, inflate numbers. Look, and actually there's another one. We'll jump to this one, right? Because it fits. But you're going to have to face those players. There's 2 regional champs. You know what I mean? That's it. At some point, no matter what your rankings, national rankings are, you have to face the best players. You have to beat those players. So, do I think that, they inflate? No, I don't. I think as the league grows, I think, some people don't like that they call something a local that should be a league, but it's not going to matter. The top players in the world are going to finish first place in all those places. They're going to come to these regionals and they're going to perform well. They're going to come to the destination series in in April and compete. So it's not, I don't think, I don't think it's happening. I don't think that you're seeing anybody purposefully do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that sometimes people may feel like that, but I don't get that sense. I don't get that sense that there's not one league that I think is intentionally inflating anything.
Yeah.
So
do you think that could become a concern when we get Scoreholio to start tracking more stats as far as trick shots and stuff like that? Do you think there could be some inflated numbers there?
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be. As you grow anything, you're always going to have those people.
Right.
It doesn't. What I would say to the people that are like that is you're only cheating yourself. Like
Exactly.
you're not. No, I mean, I don't personally care who has the highest, T number to this, percentage. I personally would look at what my numbers are and what I'm trying to do in my game and what I can take those numbers and better my game.
Right.
You're going to. There's no that we would be. I mean, we'd be kind of foolish to say,
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to have guys that claim way more T numbers and way more, of those stats. But I think that the people that are doing it should just look at their own stuff. They should. I would like to see how I stack up against other players. I'd like to see where I go. But also, you're going to see those outliers that pop up. It's like, dude, you don't throw a T number on 32% of your darts, like you're full of crap. Like, and it's like, well, and then you watch those stats, and when they don't translate to these big tournaments, then you get exposed. That's the one thing where it's like you come out here and it's like, oh, you're averaging, if you're averaging, 2.9 stuck darts around, and then you show up to regionals and you get one to stick every, 1 out of 3. It's like, dude,
right.
We know that this isn't true. So that's part of, you'll get exposed, there's just no way other than to play the games. So, that's why I have this question asked to me a lot is, are the rankings fake?
Mm-hmm.
No, the rankings aren't fake.
No.
It's how people finish. So no, they're not fake. In where I get this, I think, is a lot of the guys outside of the big, super active hubs see all the Florida guys and see all the, these guys skyrocketing.
Sure.
They're just playing more. So you get credit for, 3 locals and 3 leagues, so they've played in, 8 locals.
Right.
They've played in 10, 15 leagues. So when you look at that, they've had more opportunities to score points. So that's why you're seeing that, go on.
Sure.
Nothing about it is fake. Nothing about it is, unrealistic. I think it's a fallacy, I think, to those that don't have the leagues that are playing. But you got to remember too, these guys are playing every week.
Right.
Some of these guys are playing every week and then playing on weekends. So I would say, I mean, even myself, like we over the holidays played all of our Monday leagues. We played, we did a Friday tournament in the middle of it. We did, we do virtuals on Tuesday. All of that it's a lot more people playing. So I don't think they're fake. It's just
I agree.
It's going to grow. I would tell people who are worried, like, oh, I'm just not climbing. Well, once you build your league and you start playing, you'll climb just fine. You'll climb. Like, don't worry about it. You'll get your finishes. You'll get your stuff in there. Here's a good one. I don't know how they were wording this one, but is Pop Darts closer, or is it still ways from being taken seriously? I guess I'm guessing that they're meaning by like the general population or the general public. So, but like, is Pop Darts close to being taken seriously?
If it's not there already, it's getting closer every single day, because there is a lot of things happening in the world of Pop Darts, and it's got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, my answer to that question would be, it's going to be taken more and more seriously. I don't think it's not being taken seriously. I think every sport will have its criticism, but I think it's being taken seriously, and I think it's going to be. I think the more people that play it and really dial into the skill and the strategy behind Pop Darts are going to see that it gets taken even more and more serious. Because once you start talking strategy and you start talking all the different things you can do, it gets funny. It gets good. I got some beef to pick with you because somebody must have listened to our podcast, because I was playing a guy in league, and he was like, yeah, like, and Mr. T said, I knew you wanted to go here, so I went here. And I'm like, God, I'm like, dang it. So I was like,
the people were listening.
Kidding me. Yeah. So like he was like, yeah, I knew you wanted, like, once you had here, he's like, I knew you had this opening. So he's like, I knew where you were going to go. And I'm like, dang, like,
that's awesome.
So now we're getting some strategies. So
that's great.
Well, this question's great. It goes right into that. What do you say? What's your honest response to somebody that says this isn't a real sport? What's your honest response?
I was on ESPN's top 10 playing this game, so fight me on that because ESPN, it's sports, wide world of sports. That's where we played. It wasn't the wide world of random stuff. It was a wide world of sports.
My honest response to anybody that says it's not a real sport is what is a sport?
Yeah.
It's
what's your definition of sport?
It involves skill. It's, if people can play, if there's a winner and a loser and it's, clear as day, like what is, an honest response. I think sport then leads to some level of physical, nature, which throwing sports are physical. Sure. There is a physical element to it. And then, I guess the last piece of it is there's skill, strategy. There are good players, there are bad players.
Right.
And so I guess, when that would be my question is, I don't know what somebody's definition of a sport would be that would disclude Pop Darts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to have a six pack to win, but you don't have to be able to bench 300 pounds either. Anybody can play. But, it's still a sport, define sport, like you said, and you can't argue that.
No, I completely, and you said it's on ESPN, it's getting recognized, it's growing. Not a lot of sports grow at the rate by which we've grown. Right. We have grown in 2 months. We have grown well over, it's close to 12 times the active players in the United States in 2 months.
Awesome.
So it's getting there, guys. It's growing. It's continuingly, it's going to continue to grow. So,
I got one for you. Who complains more, the top players or the casual players?
It's not even close. It's the casual players.
Yeah.
It's the the top players have a much more pointed, like they have very,
when they have a complaint, it's probably a little more valid.
It's very specific. It's very detailed, and they are very passionate about the point they're making, because top players are playing a lot and they know, and they believe in it. So when they say something to you, they are behind it. They believe what they're saying, and then you will not talk them out of it. So, but in terms of pure volume, by far the casual players. It's right. about anything and everything. But
there's nothing wrong with this dart. It just won't stick to the table.
Yeah, it would be the casual players. There's no doubt about it. Oh boy, here's one for you.
All right,
and you fall into this. You fall into this category. So, boy, they are trying to get at us today. Holy cow! Do content creators get more opportunities in Pop Darts and in the Pop Darts world than grinders, or than people just trying to grind their way through the Pop Darts community?
So I would have to agree that they probably do, because from my position, me and Colton's position, we started out as grinders, if you will, but we've always been kind of content creators with it. Ever since we got our first T-Nobber, we've had the camera rolling every single time we play. It doesn't matter if it's just a quick, fun game. We've got a camera going, because you never know what's going to happen. And doing that gets us notification, gets us notoriety online, and, people start seeing it and knowing who we are. And, I think it does open some more doors over the guys that are, and there are guys that are playing in the leagues right now that are crushing it, that have no, and probably never will have, a social media presence, because it's just not their thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if they wanted to get more opportunities in the world of Pop Darts, it's definitely a leg up, is to have a social media presence.
Yeah, and I take this question as opportunities on the sports side, on the league side, and you're right. It probably opens more doors, being, a content creator, but I don't think that they get more opportunities. And the reason that I'll say that is the guys that are out there grinding and building their leagues and growing are being noticed. They're being, at least from my perspective, from the Pop Darts world's perspective, they're getting noticed. They're people are noticing these guys, grind and grow and build the sport. So now I'm going to kind of backtrack a little and say I'm going to define grinders as people that are actively growing the sport, actively getting members in the APL, actively setting up tournaments, actively playing in these tournaments. Those are what I'm going to determine as a grinder.
Agreed.
Making a bunch of, Facebook posts or, like trying to, that's not what I view as a grinder. I view as somebody that's building the sport. So I don't know that they get more opportunities. I think the door started open for them. And I will also say it has to be that way, guys. That's where the money comes from. That's right. Like these leagues are designed around, around content, around awesome, shots and awesome things. And that's okay. It's really what, the league is about. But I think that if you're a grinder and you're out there watching this, no, you're not at a disadvantage. You are not. There is nothing. You can go to the same tournaments that Mr. T goes to and beat him. Like, go do it. Sure. You're not like you are not given free passes in anywhere that they're not given. There is absolutely a room for these guys that are growing the sport to do that. So I think long term, the grinders may get more opportunities. I think people that are growing the league may get and actually end up with more opportunities to be, to play in big tournaments and to be in big stages because of their work in growing the league and doing that. So yeah, you're right. I think it started that way, but now we're in league growth mode. We're in player growth mode. So people that are grinding at that, those are the heroes, man, of 2026 are these people growing these leagues.
Yeah. For sure. No, I agree completely with you. The grinders, we got to have the grinders. You got to have the content creators too. You got to have them both. They are, it's a good pairing.
Yeah, so absolutely.
So I got one that could get you in trouble. Are there players who think they're elite, but absolutely are not?
Yes. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know. I gotta go. Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. There are. Yeah. If you're offended, you might be one. That's all I'm saying. There absolutely are. I've traveled. I'll even throw an alternative out for you.
All right.
There are players out there that don't think they're any good. They happen to maybe play with some of these guys that are top players in the world. They maybe play with players that, like, they've got one guy that's like their nemesis that beats up on them all day, long, that are actually elite players that would actually compete at these big tournaments and do very well. And they may be like, I've never finished more than 5th or 4th or whatnot. Yeah. And they kind of are like, well, I'm not elite. And I would argue to those players that you actually are more elite than half these guys out here that think they are.
Yeah. Those are the guys you got to watch out for, the sleepers like that.
And there's a lot of them. You come to some of these leagues and you watch these guys throw and they're like, oh, I'm not one of the best players. So-and-so is, or so-and-so. And I'm like, I'm watching you throw. You're a really good player. Like, you don't sell yourself short. You're a really good player. So sometimes it's that consistency. Sometimes it's that mental taking points off or darts off. And I'm guilty of that quite a bit. But yeah, there's some really good players that don't think they're elite. So. Okay, so we went into the content creators and the grinders convo. So this one actually moves over really nice. Boy, these guys, they must have. I know we've been compiling this mailbag, but like they must have woke up on the side of cause controversy here. So, is this a sport, or is this just for content? That's a pretty loaded question they're tossing in the mailbag today.
I think that's the beauty of it, because it's both. It is a sport. Argue me all day long, but at the end of the day, it's a sport. The old thing. When I was in high school, if somebody was doing, I don't think cheerleading was on ESPN. So, you'd always make, the cheerleaders would, say it's a sport, and it absolutely is. Cheerleading is more of a sport than most sports. It's insane. But, if it's not, that was the gold standard. If it's on ESPN, it's a sport. Well, guess what? Pop Darts is on ESPN. We're going to be back on ESPN. But on the content side, it makes awesome content. I mean, you compare it to other sports, you can watch a home run derby, but it's kind of the same thing over and over again. You can watch, you can watch somebody shoot 3-pointers all day long, watch Steph Curry just drain 3-pointers all day long. And it's awesome for a minute, but after that, it's still the same thing over and over. But a tee-knobber, you can throw tee-knobbers all day long, and every single one is a little different. There's different excitement on every single one, depending on what other darts are on the table. If you stole the lead from somebody, if you stole a close dart with a tee-knobber, there's just a lot of excitement in it. And so it is a sport, and it is for content, and it's Pop Darts.
I think the person asking this question is missing. I think they're missing out on all sports, all entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is? I'm no offense, but what do you? It's all here for entertainment,
right?
I watch the NFL, I watched the Packers play.
Yeah,
it's for my entertainment.
Exactly.
What are you? I guess I think they kind of are. We're trying to almost be like, oh, you guys have just created this for content. So is the NFL,
right?
So is the NBA,
right.
So I don't.
Yeah, if the NFL wasn't for content, NBC wouldn't pay billions of dollars to have it on their channel.
So the question is absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say it's disingenuous. I think it's an honest, question, hoping to stir you and I up and get us going. But I think it's kind of, you're missing the point. They're all for entertainment. They're all for content.
For sure.
It all is. They're all a business, and that's really what it is. It's a business of and where's money? Money is in entertainment. Money is in content. Money is in all that kind of stuff. So I think that's kind of hilarious. I think actually the fact that that question is being posed proves more that it's a sport. It proves more if you think that we're out entertaining people and making money and doing all that, then guess what, guys? It's way more of a sport. That's what the athletes are doing. It's why athletes get paid more than most people. And so that's a loaded question. It's absolutely content. It's absolutely a sport. So that one will squash. I think we've more or less. I don't think that there's any way that people are going to convince either one of us it's not a sport. So
it's going to be tough.
This is great. This is a good question. All right.
It is.
What actually makes someone elite in Pop Darts? What are the traits, the skill sets, if you will, that make an elite Pop Darts player?
Step one is landing 3 darts. Land all your darts. I get it. You're going to bounce off that target. You're going to bounce off other darts when they start getting close, but you're not going to get to the elite level until you can land 3 darts consistently and then start getting them close. And then to become elite, you have to get into competitions and play against other players, because you can throw tee-knobbers all day long in your living room by yourself, but until you have somebody standing next to you that you've never played against, you don't know where you stand in your skill level, because you have to beat people to become elite. That's just the way it is. You don't become elite by just jumping into the game for the first time and throwing a few darts and landing a couple here and there. You have got to be consistent. You've got to be close to that target, and you've got to be able to beat your opponent consistently.
Yeah, and I'll say, I mean, if you're looking at, I'll go the kind of not the different route, but I'll just, I think the skills that you need, I'll say skill wise, you really need to be able to locate your darts. You got to be able to, so if you're, at home, you got to be able to hit left at target, right at target. You got to be able to throw a deep dart. So from a skill standpoint, you got to be able to locate your darts. And then from a composure standpoint, I've watched a lot of players play on a lot of stages now, and composure is if you want me to put you in the elite category, nothing rattles you.
Right.
That's you've got to be, back to the basketball analogy, but you got to be the guy that wants the ball in his hand, knowing that you're going to get fouled at the end of the game. That's going to sit and drain the free throw. That's the same thing for an elite Pop Darts player. You have to know that you go down 5-6 on the biggest stage and you don't fumble. You don't,
right.
It doesn't, waver you. So that would be my thing, is locating darts and having a composure. And I think the last piece that I would throw into every elite Pop Darts player has to have a feel for when you have to go for it.
Right.
You have to have that, I will take a risk now. This is the time to go to the tower. This is the time to go to the, that I have to shoot for the T-knobber. This is the time I have to do that, because you won't win a tournament otherwise. You have to know when to take those risks. Yeah. You have to know. So yeah, I like that question. Not everybody's trying to get us in trouble today. So that's good. Do you have, this is kind of funny. I don't know if I have one. Do you have, if you had to ban a phrase that players say at an event, what would that phrase be? I don't know if I have a phrase.
So anytime somebody says Pop-Tarts instead of Pop-Darts, just stop. I don't care about Pop-Tarts. I don't eat Pop-Tarts. I get that it's just one letter off, but just stop. They're not Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
And honestly, that, I don't know what else to say there, because, I don't care what people say too much, but
yeah, I don't see that there's a super, common phrase that I get. So that one I wouldn't say. You have the Pop-Tarts.
Now if we could ban, I have had to ban words on our YouTube for comments. Now that those get.
I was on one live stream with you, and that went crazy.
Yeah, that was a little late night one too. That was a little different crowd than we normally get.
Yeah, that was interesting. It went different directions really fast.
Oh yes, so all kinds of directions.
Phrase. I don't really have one. I think there's none of the players really push that or or do any of that kind of stuff. So that's I don't have a phrase, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe as the world goes, I mean, I personally love all the names and I love the lippies and the double doinks and so like I love all that. So if that's where you were going with that question, I love all that stuff.
Yeah, those are all fantastic. Great. You can't beat them.
So maybe it's the kid in me, but those are fun for me.
They are fun.
So okay. If Pop Darts had a mascot, what would it be? Now I know they kind of got that dart thing out there, but
is that, Poppy McDartface or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like I don't know what it ended up getting called, but
right.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, I don't know.
How about our AI Pop Dart question producer that we've got on the Facebook page?
Dart bot or whatever it is. That should be like it's between that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think. That's great. People want him banned. I find him to be entertaining. So
I agree.
At first he drove me nuts, but now he kind of Dartbot is I don't mind Dartbot.
No, not at all.
He doesn't upset me. For me, I'm a dog guy. I want a dog.
All right. You don't see a lot of dogs as mascots.
No.
I mean, you got half the colleges out there are bulldogs, but aside from that, you don't really see a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think just a dog throwing a pop dart.
Yeah.
So there's
a golden retriever. Or what's the new pup?
We think it's some poodle mix style thing, but we think it's like a Bernedoodle or something. So it's a rescue, so we don't know exactly, but
sure.
We'll send it out for the DNA testing and see how accurate or inaccurate all that is. But
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think a dog would that one.
Yeah, who doesn't like a dog?
If it's not. Yeah, I mean, the Pop Darts mascot can't be the Dragon Hawk because that's ours. But
right.
They can't steal that one. But I would think the dog would be a good Pop Darts mascot.
I agree. Just a good boy.
Yeah, dogs love everything. They're easy to they're easy to get along with. They're friendly. They're silly. I think they fit.
Have your dogs ever gotten a hold of a Pop Dart?
It's weird. So I thought the golden was bad with the toys. Like, so we have a toy basket that was overflowing before we got the little dog. Now it's overflowing. And the golden, every time we'd clean them all off the living room floor, he would watch us till we were done cleaning them all. And then we'd go right to the toy bin and start taking them out again. The little dog is worse.
Really?
He goes to the point where he's almost so mad that you put him away that he's not even playing with the toy in the process. He's going to the bin, pulling it out, dropping it somewhere in the living room, going back to get a different toy. So yeah, they're bad that way. So they like, but no, Pop Darts, they don't. So
they don't mess with them?
The little guy is a little bit more of a chewer. He's a puppy, but he still has not.
We've never had an issue with that either. Our dog Ellie has put one in her mouth and walked around with it, but never has chewed on one and damaged it. The only damage we've had from Pop Darts is when we do the over the house shots and we lose one in the grass and I find it with the mower. They can't stand up to a lawnmower blade.
That adds up.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Especially
I can't imagine
some of those like that green Halloween one. You throw that in the grass, it's gone. It's a needle in a haystack.
I know the black darts are awesome looking.
Yeah.
I won't play with the black dart.
Yep.
Any of the swirls with black, I cannot find those darts.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
I know it.
I've played with the black darts and I've walked and I've stepped on it and I'm staring right at it. And it's not even on a black carpet. It could just be something about the black darts.
Yeah. If it gets next to a wire on the ground or next to a tripod leg, it's disappeared.
Those ones are for those of you that play with the black darts. You guys are special because I cannot I cannot find them. So, and maybe it's my advanced age, but I need I got to play with the bright ones. So I play right now with the neon pinks because I can find those darts.
Those are easy to find.
When I don't land, I can find them. So
yeah, you get those blaze orange ones out from the original golf set.
Those, and then one of my favorite ones to shoot prior was just the bright greens. Those are great to find. Yep. So I love those. Are easy to locate and easy to find. But man, the fact that I'm thinking about, like, it's just my old age. Like, I love all the color things, but like I only play with the really bright ones so that I can find them. That's sad. I've gotten a little.
In your defense, I've seen a lot of your lives that you do. You play in kind of a darker. A bar area that's kind of dark. So
we do. We play.
That definitely makes those black darts very difficult to find.
Yeah, we play in kind of it's got like the neon signs on the windows, around us. And he gave us a whole lane. We love, they've really grown the sport a lot. I mean, they actually have the darts and stuff out. They have them behind the bar.
Oh, nice.
To go and play and to be a part of. So that's been really, and every time I come back, the bartender's telling me, he's like, so a bunch of people are playing, a bunch of people are asking about it. So
awesome.
That's cool to see. Cool to see that everybody playing.
All right, Commish, if I just did it.
Oh boy, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself.
If Pop Darts disappeared tomorrow, what would you miss the most?
Oh no. I mean, well, it can't. So I'll just start out. I'll start off with that. It can't. This is great. I mean, we all live one life, we all get to a certain age. We all do, whatever. And I've grinded, I've built, I was a general contractor. I built things. I worked in sales. I worked in apparel. I've never had so much fun working harder. And that, for me, I've always liked meeting people. I've always liked talking to people, chatting. This is a way to talk and meet all sorts of people all over the country for the purpose of having fun and playing a game. So what would I mean? I don't know. I don't think you can replace, and I'm super biased, and I know what I do is a lot of work and it takes a lot of, behind the scenes, and it's a lot of stuff nobody sees, but I would be remiss to say I don't have the best job. Like, I think I travel around, I play games, I meet new people. I get to see the aha moment over and over and over and over again in new players. That moment where they went from I can't do it to this is awesome. Holy cow. And I get to see that over and over and over again. So I would say if I had to pick one thing, it's that. I would miss that moment. I'd miss showing people how to throw a dart and watching them discover it. Yeah, that would be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's a really rewarding, piece of it. It's a really rewarding, thing. So if it disappeared tomorrow, I would miss that piece of that. That. What about you? What's the one thing you'd miss if it wasn't here tomorrow?
So I always talk about the Pop Dart community. Love the Pop Dart community. All the people are amazing. But I would miss my immediate community, me and Colton and Mama Z just playing darts in the living room. We're close family as it is, but this has just brought us, it's kind of like scheduled, required time together. But we're all having a blast doing it. We're all having a great time. It's fun. I would definitely miss the family time.
It's what drew me to Pop Darts to begin with. So it is playing with my kids, and having fun. So that it really is. And I know you've said it on repeat. I think I have too. The community is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's competitive. I like that too. I grew up in a competitive family. I'm the oldest of three boys. So we're very competitive. So yes, I love family time, but I don't necessarily do good with sitting around and, doing nothing. I mean, we were always playing cards. We were always playing some sort of sport. So yeah, that's something that, I would miss. I also think, man, this is just, and I know, again, we're biased and we're on the ground floor, but being on the ground floor of something that I think is going to be incredibly special is fun. I think we're going to look back when there's 5,000 people playing Pop Darts nationwide and go, whoa, like, did we think, yes, we talked about it getting to there, but did we really think it would get, this crazy, this awesome? And I do. I mean, in my head, I don't know what it looks like when I look forward, but in my head, it's awesome. It's fun. It's exciting. So that was a really good question.
It is.
I think, and overall, I don't know that we got ourselves in a whole lot of trouble.
I don't think so.
Maybe we threw a couple hot takes out, but there were some good questions. I think they got some raw answers. I think maybe we weren't as nice to some, like, I don't know, like the whole "is it a sport" crowd probably has something to say to us, but which. For those of you writing those questions, like, it's got to be somewhat of a sport if you're watching us and writing in.
Right. Right.
You don't think Pop Darts is a sport, but you're sending us questions.
The fact that you have to ask if it's a sport means that you think it could be.
Yeah. Well, and that we appreciate you. You've at least tuned in and listened to us talk about it as a sport. So
right.
That part is super exciting and fun. So those are great. I don't know. Did you have a favorite? This is the most mailbag. This is kind of exciting to knock some of these out.
It is. I think we really had a good little talk on the content creators versus grinders. I think that was a really good one.
Yeah, that was a great question.
It was.
It was. I know
two different points of view on that too. I like that.
Yeah. So, and I think that the person asking it, maybe they were aiming for something, maybe not. I think there were some. I think two of the questions that were awesome were the, where do you aim, and what makes somebody elite. I think those are pretty. Those are some deeper level questions, coming from the fans. I thought that kind of brought out. Some really good answer and stuff I never thought about, which that's thought provoking. That's fun for me.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Where do you aim? Yeah. I think about it subconsciously until the question's actually put in front of me. So yeah, it is fun to get those questions that you know the answers to, you have the answer to it, but you just never really thought about the question. You've never heard the question, even though you have the answers.
I like it, and I think the fan mailbag this is a good episode. We got the fans involved a lot,
yes.
Which always gets me excited. Always makes me appreciate coming out here and doing it. So a little bit of a preview. So next week we're gonna have our last guest. We are gonna be bringing in Ben from Scoreholio.
Nice.
Is gonna meet with us. if you guys got questions in the comments, if you got stuff you want us to grill Ben on, let us know. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun to chat with. So we'll talk a little bit about the app. Hopefully, you can talk a little bit about some of the stuff he's been working on and doing on the Pop Dart side for us. So that's
nice.
Really exciting.
I'm looking forward to meeting him. I have not talked to him yet.
He's a personality. That's probably why him and I get along. He's a really good dude. I enjoy. He doesn't mind when I bother him 24/7. So that part I love about Ben. He's really good that way.
Nice.
And then we're gonna wrap it up. So the last episode is gonna be. We're just calling it kind of a season recap, guys. It's gonna be a look back over the last 9 episodes and our favorite moments, our favorite clips, our favorite pieces. So I would encourage you guys, if you got an episode and a clip, let me know. What do you guys think are the best moments from season 1? And we're gonna kind of go down memory lane, and I'm a little bit afraid to pull out episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah, I have not watched those in a minute. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how we've evolved.
Yeah. I got to imagine, I feel more comfortable than I did then. So I hope
for sure
it shows. And my wife yelled at me, so I know the camera is not, way off to the side, and, I'm reading from a different screen. And so 1 and 2 is going to be, we'll have to be making fun of ourselves for those.
That's okay.
And where we landed. But so if you got moments, hey, fire them at us. We look forward. I think that will be a lot of fun doing, kind of going down memory lane on season 1. And then really season 2, what do we talk? We're going to take a couple weeks off and then fire right back up with season 2. So if you guys aren't sick of us yet, maybe you will be after season 2, but we're going to take a couple weeks off and then fire it right back up.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Any closing words for them? Anything to kick off their new year?
Close out season 1. Let's see, man. Just happy new year, everybody. Make this year the year of Pop Darts, and just keep throwing.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
That's another round of What's Poppin', the most satisfying sports podcast in the world with Mr. T and the Commish. The only place where suction cups and smack talk collide. Follow the madness on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at What's Poppin' Podcast. And catch every episode wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, keep your aim tight and your suction strong.